Hello everyone. It's James again. And before I start today's video, I just want to quickly say, all work in this video contains 100% original content of and by myself James Smith, otherwise known as Bgood 4000, and was uniquely created with NAWMAL software, by myself James Smith. As I purchased commercial rights from NAWMAL to produce my unique and original video with this software. Commentary is uniquely my own thoughts, feelings, and expressions. Now that I have that out of the way, I do hope your day is going way better than fantastic. And your journey to self-betterment is going way better than fantastic as well. Today, I want to talk about something very important. And that is the societal narcissist. Just like the narcissists in your life, use the same tactics, ways, and manipulations to get what it is they want. And that is narcissistic supply from you. And the power over your life gone. And one of the ways they do this is dependency. You see, I was watching some videos about the current state of the world, and how the societal narcissists, or some might say the term gatekeepers, how they run society and how they manipulate people into giving them sole power and control over everything and everyone. You see, when you grow up in a home with a narcissist parent or parents, how the narcissist creates the golden child, and how they get the scapegoat chasing the illusion of one day being loved by the narcissist parent or parents, is they know that you as a child are solely dependent on this narcissist parent or parents for your everything. So if they put conditions on how good or not good they will treat you, based on if you comply with whatever crazy narcissistic hoop they want you to jump through. And what this leads to is, the golden child realizes, in order to be safe and get this love, or what they think is love, I will treat my brother or sister rotten. Simply because it seems to please my narcissist mother or father. They know it's wrong. And they don't care. They are strictly about self. That's it. No right or wrong. It's all about self. And you see it in your workspace. They grew up this way. So if they have to betray an innocent person at work, to climb that corporate ladder, they will do so without blinking. Because they've been trained since they were young. Wait, my mom or dad is the one with the power. So I have to make them happy in order to be safe. And if that is doing something that I know is wrong, meaning treating their brother or sister badly, they think, oh well, better them than me. At least I'm safe. I recently was watching one of those Bigfoot reenactments, where a so-called sighting was said to have happened. And apparently from what these now grown adults had to say, when they were kids, they were confronted by Bigfoot by a cabin they were staying at while their parents went somewhere that day up the road. Apparently from what they said, this huge thing chased them. And the older brother got to the door first. And he slammed the door on the young brothers. And they begged and pleaded for him to open up the door. And he refused and left his little brothers outside with this thing. He said, no way. You all better hide or something. So they hid in some food cooler outside. The so-called thing or Bigfoot looked around the cooler. And then it finally left. The boys got out of the cooler. And the older brother finally opened the door and let them in. And those little brothers let the older brother have it. On why he left them outside. Simply because he made it to the door first. The little brothers were only a couple of steps away. He could have opened the door and pulled them inside. But he wasn't thinking like that, it appears. And I'm in no way calling him a narcissist. But it appeared he had that default, better them than me heartless attitude. And when I seen this, I could greatly relate. Because I remember when I was really little. And my brother, yes, the same brother that used to beat me up, he was being beat up by two older kids. And I didn't care if I was younger or smaller, or if my brother beat me up all of the time. I ran into the middle of it all. And started to fight the best I could. And as soon as their attention turned towards me and not my brother, guess what my brother did? He ran away as fast as he could. And later when I got home, all bruised and scraped up and my clothes torn to bits, my brother was still concerned about what he had just went through. Not me. Not me at all. So when I watched that reenactment of Bigfoot, and how fast that older brother slammed the door on his little brothers, I felt the same way. I felt when my brother left me with his attackers. And the lack of concern the other brother had after the fact was much the same as my brother's lack of concern for me. And you guessed it? In the comments section, all everyone could talk about was not Bigfoot, but the horrible action of the brother slamming the door in his brother's face, while they begged and pleaded for help. Well, when you grow up in a narcissistically abusive home, the narcissist parent or parents will test their children with little things, to see if you will for one go along with their gaslighting. They might say you said something you didn't say. Or they will say something then 5 minutes later say they never said such a thing. Or they will move something within the home and accuse you of taking it. And they do all of this not only to see your reaction, but they do it to see the possible golden child's reactions as well. Will they side with the narcissist parent? Oh yes, mom. I seen James take it. He knows he has it. Or mom, you are right. You never said that at all. When we were both sitting there and clearly heard our mom say whatever it was she said. And once they have this compliance, they now work on molding you both for specific roles that allow this narcissist parent or parents to get narcissistic supply. And what they do is use your reactions as a way to control your behavior. Because they know you want love. The golden child wants that fast hit or will jump right in line with what the narcissist parent says or does to feel accepted. But the scapegoat will try to talk with the narcissist parent in order to get them to see the problem of what is going on in the home, in the hopes the narcissist parent will love them. And while all of this is going on, the narcissist will sabotage a very important area of their life. So they have a very hard time moving forward. So they will have what seems to be a nearly impossible task to escape. Some narcissists, if they have the means, meaning if they are financially well off, they might actually promote education. So they can brag their child is at this school getting the best grades possible. But though this child is getting great grades in school, they might stunt their financial literacy by encouraging bad spending habits, and not trying to help guide them in their young years to making better life and financial choices. Why? Because the narcissist parent knows they have the money to help bail their child out of their problems. So, especially for the scapegoat, they will bail them out of one bad problem after the next, with no real help on how to prevent these problems from happening. However, for the scapegoat child, the well-to-do parent might dangle the help as a carrot that is never if rarely given. But they want you to hang on to hope that help will one day come. Regardless, they keep you dependent on the narcissist. Now in my case and for others, it was the reverse. My mother never worked a day in her life. And as many of you know, she spent up the money she got from my father to raise my brother and myself. She spent it on herself mainly. My support money turned into being her support money. Which means my mother was always getting on one government program from the next. And once she spent up all my father's money and I was getting older, my mother said to me, "James, if you get on disability or something you can stay. But if not, you have to go." Because the money she got for me being a living being was gone. And she was now getting on government programs that, in her words, if I were to remain in the house, I would mess up her chances with her and her money. Now to backtrack a moment. The way she was able to keep control was to sabotage our education growing up. And I've mentioned it before. But some of you are new. I was put in slow learning classes when I was quite young. And when I mentioned this fact some videos ago, there were some of you that said, yes, that happened to you too. I remember some lady coming to class to take me out for a bit and do what appeared to be neurological tests on me. And some of you had to go through this too, where they have you skip around a room, or squeeze a ball in your hand, or toss a small square bean bag into a bucket. They always seemed confused, because I not only aced those tests, but I would do them nearly perfectly. Hey, do you want me to do that again, Mrs. So-and-so? But in the classwork I just struggled. I couldn't remember what I was reading, and the page just seemed like a mess to me. But the sad reality was my mother's education was stunted by her narcissist mother too. And though educational problems are very real, there are wonderful people that have them. It's sometimes a feeling of shame for them, when they can't read or write, or do what it is in life they have to do. Well, my mom basically wore her educational problems as a badge of honor, it seemed, because it allowed her to get help and special treatment. So she didn't have to do anything to live her life. There was someone or something else to take care of what she needed or what she wanted. But she knew, I believe anyways, that if her children's education is messed up, they will have nowhere to go. Just like the rich parent that doesn't care if their child gets a great education. They have laid the trap of not being financially literate. And they know as a result they will make mistakes and will rely on the narcissist parent or parents. And in my brother's case, he was at the crossroads to try to live a normal life. And he just couldn't. And ended up on the system. Much like my mother was when she was living. And that's what she wanted for us children. She actually wanted no education and on the system and whatever government program was available for us. Now I will say, though I haven't spoken to my golden child brother in a long time, he is truly disabled because of his mental issues. Because of what he went through growing up. Because though we as the scapegoats have our own issues, the big thing that saved many of us is, though it was sad and hard at that time, we were kicked out of the house. And though we made a ton of mistakes, we might have dated a narcissist or married a narcissist. But eventually we found out what a narcissist was and is. And that allowed us to start to do the healing. It finally allowed us to start to do the healing. But one thing I've noticed during this healing is this pattern of what I just mentioned. No matter the rich scenario, or the poor scenario, but you see it play out in society at large. And this is where it ties into some of the things I've been seeing about those talking about the so-called gatekeepers, or what I like to call societal narcissists. And they almost all use the same term: dependent. They want everyone to become dependent on them. They show up with so-called help. And that help is really a trap. In order to give up your control, and the control God has over your life, hoping this person or people or system can do better. And this is the same trap and trick that Satan has been doing since the beginning of time. As I've mentioned before, Satan actually convinced Eve that the one that created not only Adam and Eve, but he also created Satan too. But that somehow, some way, he meaning Satan, could somehow do better and offer her better than the one that created everyone and everything. And she actually believed it. And we know the rest. Because here we are. Here we are. The truth is, the societal narcissists will try to stunt you in whatever area that makes it so you can't do for yourself and not only have to go to them for help, but you have to agree to whatever gaslighting they are putting into society these days. No matter how crazy it is, you have to go along with it. Why? Because you have become dependent on them. And you can see the difference. There are those that eagerly and quickly jump to the societal narcissist side. And there are those that are still trying to figure out what is going on. But the truth is, if you look around, just look around, you will see nearly everywhere of life where you once had the ability to do for yourself. It's either been taken away or they are taking it away right now. Please know. Narcissists are narcissists. They don't just do this stuff to their families. They do it at their jobs. And if their job is being a societal narcissist, what do you think will happen? What do you think will happen? Well, that's all I have for today. I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time, bye for now. And be good to yourself.